Welcome to Haunted Horizons GhostCast with Alison Oborn, Craig Cameron and Cag Allwood from Haunted Horizons. So this is kind of our second one. We did do Halloween, when was it? 2 weeks ago? Gosh, time flies. So that was officially our first one, but this is going to be the beginning of our vodcasts, I guess, or live vodcasts. I don't know what you call them, podcasts, vodcasts. But basically these that are live on Haunted Horizons, and then we'll tidy it up a bit for YouTube. But hopefully we'll do them every 2 weeks, and each week we'll do a different subject to do with the paranormal. So guys, give us some subjects that you'd like us to talk about. So in the either PM me, message me, email us, and we'll do those for you. Now we're going to do a bit of introduction. A GhostCast, Steve. I like that one. And hello, Steve.
Hi, Steve.
I like that, GhostCast. I think we should adopt that.
That's great.
Hashtag GhostCast.
Yeah, that's brilliant. I like that.
Brilliant. This is why you're a good marketing person, Steve. So we've just adopted it. So from now on, this is hashtag GhostCast. So there you go. Now, when we put it up, there's a lot of people who won't know what this is about and who we are. So we thought for our second one, now Halloween's out the way, that we would open it up, interview each other, and let you be the interviewers as well, because we've been going for nearly 10 years, but you may not know what's behind it, who we are, who Craig is. He's there somewhere behind those dark glasses. We do have studio lights as well, guys, so hence the sunglasses. I wish we all had them at the moment, but there you go. Steve, you made our night as well. You've just given us a name. Haunted Horizons GhostCast. I love it. I absolutely love it. Yeah, so that's the adopted one now. So yeah, look, think of some questions what you'd like to know from us. It can be where we started, what our background is, what goes on behind the scenes, what our favourite ghost story is from what we've done. So this is a chance for you to get to know us, and then in future GhostCasts, we'll be talking. Take your sunnies off, Craig. You ain't that cool. In future, we'll start getting a little bit more serious and go and find subjects for us to talk about.
Hi,
so.
Hi everybody.
All right. Hi, Ali. Hi, Maggie. So we're going to interrupt and keep answering questions and waving to people. Trish, hi. So,
Hi, ladies and man in the middle.
Hello, Trish.
we think Craig's cool.
Craig
Sometimes.
is cool.
Hashtag we love Craig.
Yeah.
But we don't, the guests do.
I'm going to remember that
What?
next time Ian comes.
Ian?
I've got him marked down.
You do realise you will have Craig. Hashtag GhostCast. Well done, Lachlan. Sorry. That is definitely what we're going to be calling it from now on. We've now got a name. That is awesome. Thank you so much, Steve. All right, so, I mean, we've been going for 10 years and officially investigating for a lot longer, which is kind of how I got into it. Hi, Roz. So I thought not a lot of people know the background. It is quite interesting, I guess, some of the experiences that we've had and where we came from. Hi, Pauline. So you're an Adelaidean as well. Excellent.
Oh, he says bring it.
Bring it. So, Cag, we'll start with you because you're right on the ends. What brought you to Haunted Horizons? Because at the end of the day, Cag, you might not know, was one of my regular guests at Haunted Horizons about 6 years ago.
I can't remember how long is it.
Too long. Craig had already started.
It's a long time ago.
I actually asked you whether we should take her on, didn't I?
Yep, and I said no.
I know. I went against Craig's.
You said no.
Yeah.
Did you say no? What the?
Can't take her on.
And he was my kind of business advisor.
Oh my
still is,
gosh.
but it's like he did say no, and
Trish wants to know how many places do we tour? Lots.
Lots, probably about 8. Charmaine!
Hello,
Hi!
Lazy Craig.
So,
Craig.
Charmaine, we'll be seeing you soon down in Tasmania at Willow Court with Ben Hansen.
Emily wants to know how she can start working like you guys. Oh,
It's rare.
Do you call it working?
Hold on to the questions for 5 minutes, all
Mm.
right? Because they'll go up and we'll finish what CAG has to say and then move on.
Well,
to
so how do I end up being with Haunted Horizons?
Yep.
My husband bought me a voucher for my birthday 1 year for a Haunted Horizons tour, and I was really, really cheesed off with him.
You still are.
I've always been interested in the paranormal, but I was frightened of it because you just watch all the American TV shows and you think, oh my gosh, we're all going to be possessed, something's going to follow us home, there's going to be demons, so I did go on the tour because he bought it me. I went to Old Salem Town for the tour investigation and absolutely hooked the first time.
Who did you have?
Had Ash.
Oh, Ash, he was great.
We went on several before I actually met you.
Yeah, I avoided you.
You did.
It's like
you did.
I've heard all about you. So.
And I didn't even know anything about Craig until, several months. I never came across you either.
Who was your guide?
I had either Alison or Ash. I didn't have you. I was just absolutely hooked. And I was terrified of the dark. Absolutely petrified of the dark.
She'd watched a lot of Most Haunted and Ghost Adventures.
Well, it does if you don't understand
and that's what she thought
it.
it was going to be like.
Yeah,
she thought
you
it was
don't,
going to be demons everywhere, and Craig would be taking his shirt off whenever there's a ghost appeared.
I still do that.
It was just I just got completely hooked, and I just kept coming back. And we used to come back. We decided it's going to be every month for investigation. That was every fortnight. Then it was every week. And at that point, you only had the two venues, which was the NRM and Talem.
Yeah.
And we used to do every Friday and Saturday. And we were just totally hooked.
So we couldn't get rid of her,
No.
is basically. And then it was a psychic fair, wasn't it?
It was.
You walked up and I said to you, "Oh, I need to talk to you," and you thought you were in trouble.
No, actually, I thought what it was. There was a new investigation. It was going to be Ayers House, and then go on to the Adelaide Arcade.
Yeah.
It was a new one, and I thought, oh, you've run out of places. You're not going to let me go on. And I was like, oh, I don't want to talk to you because I really want to go and do this one. And so that was weird.
So there you go. That's how CAG started. Did you have anything happen? You say you were interested in this, and most people. For me, instance, I grew up with it. But did you have any paranormal experiences before you came on Haunted Horizons?
No.
Or was it just the TV shows?
It was the TV shows. The only thing. No, I didn't really have anything. The only thing I didn't like was when I went to my grandmother's house. There was two areas in that house that I didn't like, and I found out in the last few years that my family didn't like the same areas.
Right.
But no, I didn't experience anything. Just didn't like them, and even parts of my house that I was brought up in, and my parents still live in to this day.
Yeah.
There's still parts of that house that I was terrified. Not now, because now I understand it. Now I'm like, yeah, whatever, bring it on.
Segment.
Yeah.
Because I will say, when we go around Europe and America, we go to some of those, we'll get into those later, but when you go into those creepy places, just the two of us, probably now CAG is the one that is the driving force of, come on, we can do this. Whereas sometimes I'm like, oh, that's dark, that's scary, there's a creeper in there, I've been told. It's just, So you've really overcome that, haven't you?
I have, and the dark doesn't bother me so much now.
Yeah.
But I have actually found it's my house that I don't like dark. And it's really strange because the last few houses that I've bought, I've actually had a street light out the side at the front,
Right.
so it's great. So I've got the house that's lit up and I don't have to do anything with it. I don't need any lights on. So yeah.
All right, so
Thank you, Mel. My Glenelg
I'm
tour
just
was
going
great. Thank
to,
you.
if I'm looking down, it's because I'm going to scroll back through your questions, because I know there was a lot of questions. Before we move on to Craig, what we'll do is we'll answer some of your questions and then move it on. So how can I start working like you guys? It's hard, Emily. I was lucky. Great the Glenelg tour was. No, we'll get into that. Bring it on. So I think we've got up to...
How many places do we
hang
go
on.
to? Yeah.
We'll answer Emily first. How did you get into this? All right, I was very lucky. I'd already had my foot in the tourism industry, if you like. So I had researched the paranormal for, it's over 30 years now. Probably longer if you include all my life, because obviously I'm not 30, but there you go. Although I look it, don't I, Craig? 21. So with that, combined with at the Adelaide Jail, we developed their ghost tours back in 2004, and then was tour guiding right up to 2010. So I guess I was lucky. I was already in that industry of tourism and the paranormal, so I just put it together. So yeah, it's very hard because there's not a lot of jobs in this field, unfortunately. So I guess you just try and educate yourself as much as possible. If you want to investigate, read, come on our tours, use the equipment, investigate. So
you have to remember an awful, even if there's a backup, you still have to remember an awful lot of information.
oh yes, yeah. I always say if my guides need notes, they're not ready to go out there on a tour. So, and I think Mel mentioned the Glenelg tour, which is a lot of information, a lot of dates, a lot of history, but CAG never uses the notes because it has to be in your head. You've just got to come from here. So yeah, we tend to, there's a lot to learn. Trish, how many places do you tour? Was the one you said. All right, well, how many do we do now? Venues, the Adelaide Jail, the Adelaide Arcade, Zedward, Tailem Town. What have I missed?
Glenelg. So Glenbar.
National Railway Museum, Glenbar. How many is that, Trish? Add them up. So, and then we do the street tours, Gore, Adelaide, Glenelg. So we get around. So.
Oh, Torrens Island.
Oh, Torrens Island. But that's kind of seasonal because at the end of the day, it tends to be very cold out there or snake-ridden at times. So. Okay, just moving down. Hello, Rory. How do you get into create? Yeah, we've talked about that, Alyssa. I mean, it's just a case of if you want to be a guide, just message. We do keep a list of people who are interested. It's very rare we get spots coming up for guides because it is very popular, and these guys are still here after 6 years. That's because I won't let them go.
We can't get out.
We can't get out. That's the other thing. I own your soul if you come and work for me. So
It's so
it's
true,
just,
isn't it?
It is so true. Yes, it's so.
Pauline's a good one. What sort of places do you guys do? Have we done any hospitals or even old
Well, this
theatres
is
or
my
even old
podcast.
pubs?
Yeah, we have. We've done pubs. The pubs we tend to do more privately, more so than with tours, because it's very hard with pubs with the noise and the opening hours. But we have done several pubs. I think we did the Tea Tree Gully was one of them. The one on Grenfell Street, I've done that one of the pubs on there. I've forgotten its name. It used to be called the Woodman, the Producer's Bar, yeah, we've done that. So yeah, we do pubs, but that's more privately. We still do private stuff as well. Hospitals, yes, we were running tours through the former Royal Adelaide Hospital for a year before it got obviously shut down for demolition. It's obviously going now, but we managed to get about 5,000 people through.
We did.
And we raised money for the Royal Flying Doctors, and we just donated $20,000 worth of medical equipment to Rotary to save lives overseas, which I've just found out how much it was all worth that we gave, which was good. Makes us proud that we can still help. So, yep, old theatres. I haven't done a theatre yet.
Oh, we have?
Oh, we have. Yes, we have. And we're allowed to talk about it because we're allowed to put the video up when we do it. The McGill campus, there's a theatre there.
We've
that
done
we did.
two, actually.
Which was the other
We did
one?
one in America.
Oh, we did. The Gaia Theatre as
Yeah.
well. So yes, but not as tours.
No.
But definitely as investigations. We will be putting video up. I'm slowly starting to catch up with, I've got terabytes, 10 years, 16 years of video footage to put up. So I am starting to get time now. So keep an eye out for that. Who are you going to call? Ghostbusters. I still love that song, by the way, the Ghostbusters music, Callum. Okay, can't wait to see Old Tailem Town. So glad to do the Ra. Yeah, the Ra was interesting. It really was. The history alone, because don't forget, we don't just do the ghosts. We do a lot of history and heritage as well. So, and again, if we can raise money and stuff along the way, even better. Shane, but what is the favourite place to contact? Oh, I think we all have our favourite. I don't know, I find it hard to choose between 3.
We'll choose. You've been asked the question. You must choose one.
I must choose one. Oh, it's hard. I do love them all, and they're all very good. And they're also very different as well. I think, for me, I am in love with Zedward. Mainly because I adore asylums, and there's just something about asylums. So that would be, and I've had things happen there that
She feels at home.
actually, no, that's a weird thing. I opened the door and I did feel at home. I felt like I'm home, honey. All right, what's your favourite place?
Old Tailem Town. I think Talem's probably the one where we get stranger things and a lot more different things that happen out at Old Tailem Town. I think it's by far and away my most favourite place.
Yeah.
So,
I don't know. Mine's in between. I know the arcade is quite a quiet venue, but I love doing the arcade tour.
yeah.
I love taking people through there and getting them to see it in a different light.
It's a different tour altogether.
It is. It is a different tour, but then also Tailem Town, I think. I mean, I love doing Zedward, but I think because I don't do Tailem Town very often because we're not allowed to work together.
No, you're not. They conspire when they work together, guys, so it has to be stopped.
With good reason. Oh my God, good reason.
Yeah, so I don't know. It's hard, isn't it? That's a hard one to answer because they've all got bits that you,
Yeah. National Railway Museum's really good. It's again very different. So it's
I think the ones which really get me are the ones which aren't jails or asylums because they're all completely different.
Yeah.
Because everyone's done jails and asylums to death all around the world, so everyone's over them, and every time you see a TV show, it's all on the same thing.
Since that's all we ever do when we go overseas.
Yeah.
Trans-Allegheny.
It's a different ones, which are, you want to know why they're haunted, and you get
Yeah.
different activity and different levels of extreme activity. Talem's a classic example where we've had some of and that's where a lot of our original video footage comes from. It's really intense video footage, and the Railway Museum with the footage from there as well. That's really different to what you'd expect and what you get at different places. And we're allowed to show that video footage as well. So.
Yeah.
We can extend that to the guests when they come along. I think that's important for them to share on some of that stuff that we get in those locations.
It's quite often the venues that you think are going to be the quieter ones that are actually the most interesting.
Well, that's what we found when we go overseas. We go, oh, this one's not going to be that exciting, and then that one turns out to be the best one. And it's you just can't tell.
No.
All right, Monica asks, when are we going back to Moonta for another catch up? Monica. Moonta was put on hold while we were doing the hospital because we were contracted for a year with the hospital. So hopefully we'll get back up there and see if they'll have us back. So we've got to go up there and find out when we can start that. We miss Moonta. Moonta was absolutely amazing.
Oh, love Moonta.
Love Moonta.
Yeah.
Yeah, Mel says can't get out even when I sack them. Have you done pubs, Shane? Yes, we have. Not with tours so much, but we have done a lot of pubs investigating privately. Do we do investigations? Oh, Shane, we don't really, because at the end of the day, we're inviting things to happen, and we have had some pretty severe stuff happen that we don't put up online. And if that happens when we've got a child with us, I wouldn't put my kids on it, put it that way, especially on our tours. So I know what's been happening, and it's just, you just wouldn't, not at our venues. I don't know, there might be other venues that would accept it, but yeah. It would be a hard one, that. I don't know, maybe we could think about one at the arcade.
Maybe we could. The
Shane,
arcade
you just
would
given
be...
us an idea.
Yeah. We could well do.
Arcades never had anything bad.
No. They just have to be prepared if nothing happens.
Yeah.
So that's the thing as well. The children can easily get bored.
Shane, can you message me maybe, just so I don't forget that question, because...
That could be quite interesting.
Yeah, because if they want to play with the equipment, or basic equipment, probably that one I wouldn't have too much worries about, because we just haven't done anything nasty.
I'm going to put something out there.
Ooh.
You're not going to like it.
No, he's going to say, no, don't do it.
Don't do it.
Okay.
The one thing you find is that when we go on an investigation and we get out there, we're seriously asking for things to happen around us. The one thing we'll do is we'll use anything that we possibly can as a way to get a reaction. And if we got a child in there,
oh, and it wouldn't be on an adult tour.
No, this would be children's
This would
only.
be a child.
well, then we can do that.
Yeah.
Because we'd select what we do.
Yeah, we
No,
wouldn't.
we certainly wouldn't be doing what we would normally do.
Yeah.
It would just be basic equipment type show, but yeah.
I wouldn't bring my kids on one of our tours.
No, I wouldn't have brought mine.
No, it's too much based on reality.
Yeah.
When we get things happening, we have a lot of adults which can't cope with what happens.
So, and most of it you lot don't hear unless you come on a tour. So, oh, I mean, do you do pubs? I think you've done a few. Yes, we have. Shane, we've done a few pubs. Love pubs, but they are hard when they don't open. They keep open. There's a lot of noise. That's the only thing. Can I come with you one night, Ricky?
Come on the tour, Ricky.
Yeah. Will you get to see the latest tail-on footage from several weeks back? Oh, Mel, you'd have to give me dates and tell me what happened and everything else so I can look it up. I don't get all the footage for a few weeks.
I know the one Mel's talking about.
The kids would probably see more than me. Yeah, they probably would. Yeah, my 12-year-old daughter nags me all the time. Shane, message me. We'll see what we can do. It might be a new idea.
I would be quite happy to take a group of that age
kids,
group.
12 plus. Yeah.
I think that would be fine. I'd be more than happy to do a small group of them.
Which location?
The
At
arcade.
the arcade.
Okay.
I think the arcade would
think
be
anywhere
fine.
else would be suitable.
No.
I think everywhere else we've had too much happen. So, Terry!
Hi, Terry!
Oh my God, I miss you too. You've got a present coming, Terry. By the way, I was just telling you that. I put it in the post the other day, so you keep your eye out. It's an early Christmas present for you girls. So, and I've sent it to the jail. Terry is from Licking, and that was just amazing, wasn't it?
They were cool.
Yeah.
That was a great place.
We
and
captured
lovely
that little
ladies.
girl's voice. We got little girl's voice. We're on the tour going around. And just on the tour, we all heard this little girl giggle. And we got it. I've just got to get this video up. I've got to do the Licking jail video soon. So.
Mm-hmm. Shane says we think we've done a lot more airport parties than we have, actually.
Well, you don't thank me until you've got it, Terry. You might hate it. It comes in for many uses, so. Craig's probably guessed what it is.
Yeah, I know what it is.
It's a thank you, Terry, because it was amazing. And we are just about to book flights to come back next year. We weren't going to do Ohio and all that area, but we really want to come back and see you guys. So hopefully you'll have us back. I think it's going to be August next year. So nearly got the flights today.
So we've got another one. His
Another
daughter
one.
wants to come, and
Another
another
one.
son
All
wants
right.
to come. So
All right.
Yeah.
We'll see what we can do. Maybe during the school holidays in Christmas or around that area. We'll see if we can get something going.
It was 4 weeks to go to school
Yeah.
holidays, so
Yeah. So let's
Not
see.
far away.
Let's see what we can do with the arcade for you all guys. All right. Well, questions I think we caught up on. So Craig, how did you get into this?
there's been so many of those questions.
I know.
Aren't they exciting?
They are. Come on. We all want to know how hashtag we love Craig
came to be.
came to be.
Well, I don't want to give too much away because I'm going to talk a little bit about that on the Ben Hanson night
Right.
in
Afternoon.
a couple of weeks'
Yeah.
time. Yeah. So I'm going to go a little bit into that because it feeds into the topic of what I'm talking about.
All right.
I think my interest started in the occult when I was a kid. Nothing happened to me.
All right. So
It was just a fascination with all that stuff. I think when you always look for different things in your school, and one of the things day is in the library looking for different books, and a couple of books fell off the shelf, which were just books on UFOs and those sort of things. And I wasn't really into the UFOs, but it started that look, wonder what else is there, and then you can see things on ghosts and all this sort of things. And that was in the 70s and 80s. So it was a time before photoshopping, time before the internet. So you've got all that stuff which has been written by someone, which is usually not handed down from third or fourth or fifth person. And so I interviewed this person yesterday, and this is what happened. And those stories still stick in my mind. And I think ever since then, there's just been an intense curiosity on anything to do with the paranormal.
But it's strange because you come from a, can we say, intelligent background?
Yeah.
He makes us look stupid.
Yeah. Craig's the brains.
Craig is the brains of the operations, and Craig has degrees in physics. Is that right?
That's right.
And astrophysics? Is that what you call that?
That was a major, yeah.
Okay. What's a major?
Major?
What's a major between degree and major? I don't know.
Major
I'm not very bright.
is a specialisation of what you do within your
Okay.
degree. So
Okay.
if you can have a physics degree and a specialisation
Yeah.
astrophysics.
So doesn't the paranormal go against everything scientific like physics and in a way?
Well,
Don't look at me as if I'm stupid, Craig.
that's my normal look on these things.
You like look at me going, are you really asking something? It's like...
Well, I don't think so. I think when you look at science in general, what science is trying to do is work out what the whole thing of our existence is all about. We try to see what makes up a stone, we look at what makes up the air, what makes up space and all that sort of thing. And that's what science is meant to do, ask the big questions and try to answer what they are. But what we're trying to do is answer something that's even bigger than that. I think is if you have to start looking at things which are small, like the world, the universe and that sort of thing, you get to a point where you're going, what's outside of that? Because we're talking about something in ghosts about the afterlife. When you die, what happens then? Science ain't going to explain that.
No.
And I don't think it can. So I think the two aren't consistent, but they're not heading in the same direction.
Yeah.
So I think that's where there's not really an overlap or a contradiction for me.
Okay, so, I mean, since you've been kind of searching for this stuff, and obviously you're out in the field all the time now, for the last 6 years, what you'd be out there in these haunted locations several times a week, several hours a night. Has it changed your thoughts on the paranormal? Because I know when you first started you were fairly sceptical on it all, but you would now have seen so much happen on these tours and to these people. And I know that you've seen a couple of things because you admitted it to us too. So
Yeah. See, because of the sheer amount of time that you spend in a location, you're going to have more things that are experienced around you. And I think that's one of the things that we take away. And we try to explain what those things are. We try to work out exactly what's causing it. And I think in, majority of cases, you'll find out what that is. If you hang around enough, you go back under the same conditions, you'll see where the shadows are cast, you'll see someone walking in front of a light outside, you'll see a radio tower and all those things which can influence what we do. But then there's those things which you go, oh my God, what was that? Things where a ghost box, for example, answers a question which is so unique. And we've had a few of those over the years, and it's like you can't really put that in the realm of random chance. So it dumbs that down, but it's still a very small minority of things which happen to us. And I'm not speaking about what our guests experience, because what they experience is what they experience. We can't get inside their heads. So to us, that's gospel. But from our perspective, it's like we think so many times about what it is. And I gauge it by how you guys react. And I do that with the guests as well. So I know that as soon as I get a phone call or a message straight after a tour from CAG, I know something's happened. And the same with Peter, and the same the next day when we get weird things that happen around you guys. And we know we take them seriously. Classic example was with you, when you were in the bathroom at Z Ward, and you saw that figure step in front of you.
Well, it was right in my face. It was literally inches away from my face in there. And you used to mock me.
We did mock you.
We mocked me, but they mocked me for that for about a year. And then Craig had his experience in there, and he doesn't mock me anymore. What was your experience in there, Craig?
Well, my experience was very similar. So we'd gone in the night when we lost 14 people from the tour. So that was a big night. One of those went to hospital. So it was a pretty unfortunate night, but really cool night to be involved with. By the time we got to the bathroom, it was almost like a play-by-play description of what you describe your event as being. So it was really uncomfortable, and in both cases we had two independent witnesses. So I had someone who was standing next to me, Alison, and you had someone who was standing next to you that saw something similar at that point. So we know that wasn't us. We know it wasn't our eyes. The question is, what was it? So, and the other questions we're still trying to find out. I mean, we're still answering them. Has it swayed my opinion on the paranormal? There's so many things in the paranormal which are different, like Loch Ness Monster. Big feet, Mel.
Actually, somebody just brought that up.
Mel.
Yeah, was it Mel? Is it... Cag and me, when we go away, we miss Craig a lot. We have to ring him up, usually from America in the early hours of the morning for him, with a question, and usually burning questions that we need answering, and only somebody with a degree in physics can answer. Like one of our questions, if you're wondering about that comment, was, and it is a burning question, if you have more than one Bigfoot, is it big feet or big foots? So, and this was a burning question. We had to ring him at
it's
2
very
o'clock,
important
2
one.
o'clock in the morning for him,
Oh my god.
just to find that answer out.
Driving home from a tour, it was one of those I just wanted to go home, and then I get a phone call, and I'd got no idea why I answered that. I should have known better. It's my own fault. You answer the phone, and that's what you get.
We've got quite a few here.
All right, so what else have we got?
It's Bigfoots for the record.
Okay.
Okay, where are we up to? And if I've ignored anybody, it's because I didn't want to
Resi's.
interrupt Craig's stories and talking. Terry says, "Oh, you must come to the jail. Please, please, please." Yes. We will do. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. We'll definitely get onto that one.
On to
Have we had
Jordan's.
anything go? What? Which ones? Yeah, has anything gone home with us?
All right, Jordan. Not
Come on, fess up.
Not really. In 30 years I've been doing that. We've been in some really rough places. Except once. So, and it was Tailem Town. So I used to say on my tours when I was talking, don't worry, nothing will come home with you. I've been doing this 30 years and nothing's come home with me. And then one night, it was a weird night, I was lying in bed, and I live in the middle of nowhere, so there's no roads come past, no people come past, and I saw what looked like a shadow of a person go past my bedroom window from the outside. And I remember, because I'm very rational, I remember rationalising it, going, oh, probably a trick of the eye, but if I believed in ghosts really, that my house was haunted that much, I would probably put it down to a ghost. And then I turned over to go to sleep, and I got woken up by my bedroom door handle going down and the door opening. I thought, oh, Michael, my husband, is coming to bed, like he normally does, but then nobody got into bed. Turns out Michael was with the kids still down in the lounge, not coming to bed or even opening the bedroom door. And then the next morning, Will, my guide, was sleeping here down the spare room. He got up and he said, I had something really weird happen. And apparently somebody had banged on the window, and the glass had actually bowed as well when it happened. And then my daughter got up, who's a total skeptic by the way, my daughter got up, came down and said, I had a really weird night last night. She said all night long she could hear banging in her bedroom as well. So only one night, never happened again, but it's almost like it said, but I can if I want to. So generally they don't want to. You know, they're there for a reason, whatever reason, and you know, why would they go home with a stranger? It's not a common thing.
Have anything go home with you?
No.
Have you? No. And we're in these places all the time, and I like to come home and everything's peaceful at home, so. All right. Terry, and just going back to the jail, Terry, August, we're going to be at the Michigan Paracon, and that's on the 26th,
27th,
29th. So we're going to be coming in probably a couple of weeks before that, so it'll be sometime in that 2 weeks leading up to the Michigan Paracon. So it'll be a weeknight as well, probably, Terry, so hopefully that won't clash with any of the groups that have booked the jail. So, but definitely, I'll give you some dates. Have you ever had, I've done that one, school holidays, little spooks too. Yep.
Yeah.
Hashtag we're waiting, that was for Craig. Quantum physics is an interesting thing. We might actually cover that on one of our podcasts, guys, because how does science fit in with the paranormal, since we have somebody who's kind of into all that. Abby, psychic experiences. Oh,
No. No, that one
Ooh.
again. No, not me.
I would say I actually do have it in my family line. My grandmother was a trained medium, and every time we had something go wrong in our house, my grandmother would ring about the blue to see if everything was okay. So my mum was a healer in the spiritualist church. Members of the family saw dead people. I didn't get that, so that's probably why I went into it on the nuts and bolts level with equipment to prove or disprove this stuff. Have I? Maybe a couple of times without. Maybe we'll do that on another show as well. Long story on that, very long story. Probably too long to talk here, but Abby, definitely bring that up. We might do a thing on that.
It's that one at Tailem Town.
Which one was that?
In the cot. When we had Mandy put the equipment in the cot.
Yeah. Oh yeah, when I had that flash of a little boy grabbing my hand, and at the same time it jumped backwards, and she said something wrapped around her hand at the same time. I've had best way of saying it, with it, I can't, could be a dream. I've had dead people occasionally come into my dreams. I had to give a message to I used to work on horses, and that's therapy-wise, and I once embarrassingly had to go and give one of my clients a message from her dead father. It is very bizarre. Every rational thought goes against how that happened, but I kept getting him in my dreams. I'd only ever met him once, and he walked past me when I was treating her horse, and it turned out that she was about to publish, because when he died, he'd completed a book on poetry but hadn't had it published, so they'd gone ahead and published it, and it was the opening thing of the poetry publishing, and yeah, she just always wondered, is he going to be there? And of course, a couple of days before, I gave her the message. So maybe, but not intentionally. So occasionally I get some weird stuff. What else? I've been inside a head, very lonely place. my head is very lonely. What makes a good chemistry of HH? We bag each other.
Yeah, we do.
We dislike each other intensely.
We do.
We don't like working together.
No, we don't.
It's a chore even sitting within
Yeah.
this close. Having to put us this close to each other, it hurts. It really, really hurts.
And we don't share anything.
No, God, no.
No, we'd never share.
No. And we get really, annoyed when they, like this one hogs the spirits, doesn't
gosh,
he, all the
yeah.
time. He always gets.
They hug me.
Yeah. So no, that's how we gel.
Yeah, there's nothing
dislike,
nice.
total dislike for each other.
No.
Oh, okay. Rosemary had something follow her from Glen Bar.
Can you bring it back, Rosemary? Because we need a few extra ones go back down there.
Do you know where you're doing your next Gawler tour again?
On request, Jordan. So Gawler, because it's very hard to get people up to Gawler for a dark history tour. And they're good. Well, let's say good because I do those tours. It's me that does them, my baby. Round of applauses, good feedback, but trying to get people up there for dark history tour has been really hard. So what we do now is, if you've got a little group of people, or you particularly want a date, just let us know and we'll see if we can fit one in. I'm only 10 minutes away from Gawler, so it's easily done. So
named a puppy after a ghost. I had a conversation with Edward. Didn't realise until afterwards that
you named him Charles.
Charles. Oh, that's cool.
That's nice, because Charles I've got a soft spot for. So there's a full moon or a Friday. Friday the 13th, I've never had any more action than any other. It's just a date as far as I'm concerned. Does a full moon. I don't personally like full moons. I don't know, I just find it slightly quieter. But there is an exception to the rule, because the one time I saw a full figure walk in the church when I was doing a tour at Taylor was a full moon. It was Easter, which is traditionally a full moon. So always an exception to the rule. Personally, I don't like full moons. I like new moons.
I'm the same. How about you?
Full moons affect the living, though. Ask any police, medical.
Yeah,
What do you think? What have you found with full moons there, Craig?
Oh, I think it goes back to common sense. If the ghosts want to be seen, then they will be seen. If they don't want to be seen, they won't be seen. And mostly they don't want to be seen. So on a full moon, they won't be up.
Yeah, look at the draw.
Look at the draw, I think.
Definitely.
Yeah. Looking good, Craig, with your sunnies on.
Cool.
Colton's going to get it with the next write-up. I'm going to make sure something else goes in there.
Yeah, it's funny how it comes in dreams sometimes. Topic: what role does personality play in ghost tour? That's a good one, Steve.
Oh,
I like to have a deeper experience. I like that. I like that.
There's lots of different
Briefly,
ones
we
there.
can talk about that because, yes, Steve, we'll talk about that. There's a lot there that we can cover, but that's a good question. I used to think I could predict who it was happening to. In fact, we used to stand outside on the tours, didn't we, when we were going around and tell them? Or was that before your time? And we used to stand there going, it'll be her,
Yes.
her, possibly that one, and we were always wrong. So it's not always who we think it is.
Also, a group that's got a lot of energy about them, that are good, that want to go and enjoy the tour.
Yes,
Don't you find that?
Yes.
Enthusiastic
Enthusiastic people. Not people who are just standing there going,
That's that can be hard. Don't you find that people are enthusiastic, not over the top, but just interested?
Well, interesting people would attract like. So I think if you're a spirit, you're attracted to people for a certain reason, as we are as a living. And I think it's no different. So if people come in there and they're happy and they're dancing around and you like that, I think you're more likely to interact with them if you're on the other side.
Yeah. All right, so somebody, who was it? Jeremy. Unfortunately, he couldn't get on our tour, so went with another group to the jail. Have we had much from Lottie? We had heaps of reactions from him. I personally, Lottie.
Never heard of a Lottie.
Never heard of Lottie in 16 years I've been there. So that one I'm not sure about.
Lottie, I'm assuming, is a female?
No, it says he, him. So
Yeah, you have to let us know who Lottie
Jeremy,
is.
you're going to have to let me know on that, because in 16 years I've never had anything from a Lottie there in the time we've been investigating. So
He's now having strange things happen, and let's see if he do.
Ooh.
So we can go. Ooh.
We'll have to find out all about that.
Thanks, Kay, for popping our ghost investigation cherries Edward on Friday night. I can't wait to go. Excellent, Amy. Cool.
Glad you enjoyed it.
That's cool.
Ghosts be like, don't take my photo. I think that's what. Yeah, definitely. Craig has bloodshot eyes.
Well, I always do. You don't get any sleep.
He doesn't get any sleep as well, so.
Yeah, that's the trouble, you see, because Craig has got 2 young
Yeah.
children as well.
Yeah.
We've got older. Well, yours
We're
are
going
left
to
home, aren't
time. We don't want to bore you all by being here too long. We got a time check. I haven't got any time check here, so
No.
I could talk all night, but that's me.
Can I just say hello to
We've
Bridget?
got another 15 minutes.
Sorry.
Be quiet.
Okay.
Can I say hello to Bridget? Bridget said hello in the beginning and I didn't respond to it. And I feel bad, so I want to say hello to Bridget. And it's about time that you got to the Railway Museum again. That's all I've got to say to Bridget.
Okay. Cool.
There we go, Bridget.
All right. So while I think we caught up with the questions that we've got here, so how about we've got another 10 minutes, guys, and then we're going to call it quits.
How about you?
I just assume everybody knows.
Well, not everybody might not know. I mean, not everybody.
I hate talking
Yeah,
about
know who
myself.
you
I
are.
liked hearing about these guys, but yeah. Hello, I'm the owner of Haunted Horizons.
That's better. Now everyone knows who you are. What was
yeah.
your name again?
Depends who's calling me it.
Yeah, that's true.
I go by
Yeah.
lots of
If
names.
it's me and Kay,
Some of them not very nice, especially if it's these two.
it'd be all of them.
So, all right, how I got into it very quickly, born into a haunted house. I was one of those people who got into it because of an experience. So Newcastle upon Tyne in England, just a normal terrace house.
I've been there, I've seen it. Well, not been in it.
You have, you've stood
Yeah.
outside. We have got a live feed on Haunted Horizons, if you go back a couple of years, where I'm outside that house talking about everything that happened in there. So definitely go back and have a look at that if you want the full history behind it and see what it looked like as well. So it terrified the life out of me, that house. In fact, it terrified the life out of all the kids, of my brothers and my sisters. Everything from disembodied eyes in the corner going under the bed. My earliest childhood memory was... I can't sack you, you know.
Yay, can you do it now so I can go home?
No, I need to at the weekend because I want to sit at home and watch TV. No, I'm joking. So at the end of the so we had all that. So it was always a burning question on what it was, and I was quite happy to disprove it all. So I started researching seriously when I came here. I did it a bit as a teenager, with here's giving my age away a little bit. Back then, reel to reel recorders.
Even I can't remember reel to reel.
This was before even cassette tapes, alright?
Oh, that's bad.
Reel
isn't
to
it?
reel is what I was using as a teenager. So, gosh, that's giving my age away. So, yeah, and when I came here, started researching it properly, went with the other teams. They just, nothing against the teams, they just weren't going in the direction that I wanted to go in. So, set up Paranormal Field Investigators in 2002. This is a very brief outline. Picked up the jail very quickly, right time, right place. Was the official researcher there for 10 years. And tour guide and everything else. And that's how I got into doing Haunted Horizons. Because so many other great places the public could be sharing and investigating, and that's kind of how it all began.
What's interesting though, you had the same fear that I did, which is the dark.
I still do sometimes, yeah.
And
It's more exciting and exhilarating now. Turn the fear to...
Turn it round as a positive rather
But
than
you know
negative.
what? You know, I say, I don't care how long somebody does this. All right, I don't care how long they investigate. If they're put into a strange surroundings, let's say they're put in a penitentiary, or in America, a huge one that we get, and they're on their own in the dark and they don't know what they're dealing with, and things start to go off, I'm going to say anybody who says that they don't feel some fear, I'm going to say they're lying, okay? Because it's inbuilt in us all, the fear of the dark, because it's what saved us in our caveman days around the campfires, because out there is the predators. It's in us all. It's how you deal with the fear. And interestingly, when I did an interview on the American Afterlife Radio, and the guy that was interviewing me, he used to be in, I can't remember, it was Air Force. He's going to kill me if he watches this. But he also agreed. He said that the people who were jumping out of planes in the Army and Air Force, they said the same thing. All right, if you're not afraid when you do that, then you've got a greater chance of dying because you're not being as careful. So yeah, it's interesting. Fear is an interesting thing. We all have it. It's how we deal with it and how we push through it. And I think that's the important thing. And I think that's what you and I have managed to fight through, because we both have grown up with that fear. That I used to sleep with my lights on right into my 20s because I was that scared of the dark. So you change it into excitement. Oh, you're thinking of Lolly. Sorry, it came out as Lottie. Yeah, I'm just looking at Dane. Jeremy, Jeremy, yeah. Sorry, Jeremy. I hadn't heard of Lottie. Yes, I know Lolly. So now, was it in his cell where the photograph is? Because it's not actually his cell, but it is the area where he was hanged. Have we gone right back there?
Oh, yeah, sorry.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Damon just thought it might have been Lolly.
Yeah. Think of the historic Port Adelaide's regard. Well, Abby, I mean, we do the National Railway Museum down there, which has got a lot of history there. At the end of the day, Port Adelaide has a lot of history. So there are a lot of old buildings, there were a lot of death.
And Torrens Island.
Yeah.
Torrens Island is really, really cool.
Yeah, it is.
Because of the history of Torrens Island. That's sort of on that whole, cross between mental asylum and out there in the middle of nowhere like Old Tailem Town. It's a cross of both of those, which makes that place really cool.
Yeah, so...
And the snakes.
Or Port Misery, as it was called back then.
And just also people still asking about Moonta. We are going to try.
We're going to try and resurrect that. We gave it a break for a year because of the hospital, which we were contracted to get as many people through as possible, so they could enjoy it before it's gone for good. That's finished now, so now we've got to look back and see if we can resurrect Burra and Moonta as specials. So watch this space. It won't be till after Christmas, guys. The year has just gone. God, we're at Christmas again soon, so yeah. But next year, hopefully, we'll get them resurrected.
Have we got any new venues coming up at the moment?
Not at the moment. We've been flat out doing other things. Pong, Rosemary, remember Pong?
I can remember Pong.
That was my first video game too. Spirits Where You Are versus in the States. As in, or differences. I think it's the same worldwide. We're getting the same stuff here, I guess, as we are when we came over to the States. Same type of venues, history, and the same stuff happening. So I think people are people, and I guess if ghosts exist and they were people once, apart from different mannerisms and different ways of looking at stuff, I think it's pretty much the same. What do you think? You did a few in London with us.
Well, what do you think about...
That was weird.
Ghosts? That was weird.
That was weird
when
we managed to meet up, all three of us in London, and actually do 2 London investigations. So.
That's cool.
That was really good fun. We needed more chocolate and more coffee, but
it was good fun.
What about responses on ghost boxes across different countries? If we ever got a ghost box in France, are we going to get a French conversation?
Well, this is the whole thing, isn't it? Because I haven't been and done any French places yet. I would imagine...
Transylvania.
I would imagine surely they would speaking their own language. We need to go over there just to experiment on that. Would our EVPs be in
the foreign language? Does that mean we've got to learn the language first? That's me out there because I struggle with English and I learn the
You can
other
speak
language.
Scottish pretty well.
I'm ignoring that comment. We'll just carry on.
How about, I think we're caught up again now, how about we each give our most memorable experience? Ghost-wise. One story.
Ghost-wise.
One story.
Ghost-wise.
What sticks in your mind the most?
I think for me is when I saw the figure in Town.
Oh, you thought it was Michael?
I did. We'd had a really weird night. There was people freaking out in the Emporium. We got them as far as the church. I was back up that night. One lady froze outside the church. She couldn't move. So I left her with Michael, Alison's husband, who was also there. I went to go and get her a glass of water. And as I was walking towards the coffee area, there was a figure walking towards me. And it was the same height and the same build as Michael. And I was like, how did Michael get in front of me? Because I've just left him behind me. And I thought, I don't know why, because we don't normally do this, but I thought he'd run around to frighten me.
Yeah.
And I don't know why, because he never does that. He's freaked me out accidentally, but not purposely. And so I got my torch out and went, ha ha, Michael, very funny. And as I put my torch on, it just completely disappeared. And I was like, okay, that's a bit weird.
What about... I can't.
Oh, I forgot about that one.
Yeah. That's a good one.
You talking about Zed Ward?
Yeah. Go on. One more story
okay,
from
so
you.
I was in
Before we
Zed Ward.
finish.
This was really weird. Went into Zed Ward.
We're going to go over.
We were set up. I was going to set up doing a live investigation. So I'd left Alison in the day room. I was walking down. I got my coat on, pockets full of equipment. My arms are full of equipment. My torch was in my pocket, so the only light I'd got was a flashing cat ball. And I was walking down. I put everything in the mirror room, no problem. Walked across to cell 2. And I could see this shape in the corner, but I could see through it. And I just thought, maybe the National Trust would put some more stuff in there. To me, it looked like fly screen. You could see through it. And so I thought, I better make sure there's nothing on the floor, because it was really dark that night. So, so I don't want to trip over it with all the equipment in my hands. So I was going like this, trying to find where my torch was. And this thing then suddenly just stood up. And I was like, I might have sworn. And then I went, Alison!
Came back to me, and it's like, somebody down in
Somebody in cell 2. But yeah, that was really cool. That was weird.
Yeah. Craig,
Yes, Alison.
Mr. Cool Guy. What's your most memorable?
Well, I'll tell you what. One of the most recent ones, and you two won't know this yet.
Oh.
I don't think it was
I'm all ears.
I don't think it was part of my write-up either.
Why not?
Well, because
Sacked.
it happened. Can I go now?
Yeah. No, it's okay. We won't let you out.
This was at Zed Ward,
Mm-hmm.
and it was upstairs, and it was in Sniffy's cell.
Okay.
So Sniffy's a story for another night.
Yeah.
But we were investigating outside there, and my group was 6 people, and one of the girls had walked into the cell. And as she walked in there, she looked back at me, and I was standing in the doorway, and she said, "There's something not right about the cell."
Mm.
And I said, "What are you talking about?" She goes, "It feels really different in here." Someone pushed past me and went inside the room, and he goes in there, he's standing there, he goes, "Yeah, this is really, really weird. There's a real heavy feeling." But how many times have we heard that?
Yeah.
You walk into a place and it feels
Yeah.
heavy,
Yeah.
everything's heavy about it. And we go, "Well, I've never felt that, right? I've never felt that type of experience." So it's really hard for me to think, exactly what they're doing. A lot of people at Old Tailem Town and the Emporium feel like someone's sitting on their shoulders, and it's like that downward pressure on a person. And so the other 4 members of my group went into cell 38. As they went in there, they were standing there and they were looking back at me, and something was wrong. So I just walked inside the room. So as I walked in there, it was like the force of gravity had tripled. It was like a downward pressure like nothing else that I'd felt. If you can imagine someone grabbing hold of every part of your body and pushing down at the one time, that's what it was like inside that room. And that's the first time I've ever felt that. I think it must have been a month ago.
And how come we never heard about it?
It doesn't tell us things.
It doesn't, does it?
I thought I put it out there psychically, but you obviously didn't receive it.
You didn't get into my dreams, Craig.
That's a good job.
That is really.
That's a subject for another show as well.
We had, the other day actually, coming out of the mirror room, there's myself and another guest had to stand still because we were both really dizzy.
Okay.
Really, really dizzy. And I was like, and it just, as soon as we came out the door, I was fine. But it was like she actually ended up having to sit on the seat. So that's
Okay.
What about you?
Cool.
What else? What about you?
Oh, me. Sorry, I keep forgetting about me. I'm so intrigued more by them.
Hey, before you say anything, hold fire, because Emily was in my group that night.
Oh, okay.
Emily, do you remember going into cell 38?
All right.
Or
We'll
do we
take
have
about
that
40
feeling
seconds
Yeah.
for it to
Tell
answer.
Yeah.
Actually, go back. I'm just looking at... Shane says Amy's crypt tries to linger. Actually, saying that, you remember when we went to Ireland? Wales, and we did the jail, and we tried to do Gaelic, didn't we?
We did.
Welsh
Welsh
Gaelic.
Gaelic. It didn't turn out well.
And it didn't turn out well. The equipment kept screaming at us. I don't think they were happy with our translations. So.
No, it didn't go
We
well.
did try.
Maybe we can try Scotland this year and do...
What you need to do is work out the era of the spirit.
Emily says,
and
oh
then-
my god, yes, so heavy.
And then do some of the invaders' accent.
Trina, Adelaide Zoo. You know, it's interesting. I've heard a lot of stories about the Adelaide Zoo.
We've had a few recently, haven't we?
We have been getting a few stories from there, so I'd love to hear them. Trina, if you want to message me or something like that, love to hear some of those stories to see if it coincides with what we've already been hearing and the same places in there.
Yes,
so.
Ashley, he's so secretive.
Oh, Ashley, he's terrible. He is. I was in your group, Craig. Yeah, I have the feeling.
Yeah, I suggested it was so heavy. That's cool.
Yeah. So. All right. Well, I didn't get mine, but there you go. I've got too many. They don't want to hear my story, do they?
Nah.
No.
I mean, most of them would have. Yeah, the most common. The one that really would have is still the jail, and it's still when I was on the stairs of the jail and with those two documentary makers, and it was just me, the documentary maker. I'd already asked for something to happen to convince them that ghosts existed, and we weren't filming that night. And as we were talking on the stairs in the new building about Sir, the god that's supposed to haunt the place, we started hearing boots on the top gantry coming from C Wing, and it came to the top of the stairs behind me, and I'm like standing there going, yeah, because the sceptical documentary makers, their jaws dropped, it was that obvious. What I didn't expect is when it came down the stairs, and we had clear boots. We had the click of the heel, squeak of fresh leather in new leather as it took off again, and it came right past me. It came between me and another guide. The two documentary makers stood apart to let it through, and then we listened to it walking off down the hallway and out the door at the end. Absolutely mind-blowing. Absolutely mind. Footsteps sound boring until you've got them within inches of you and you can't see anything, and that will always be in my head, that one. So
Tamika, you can buy Alice's book either online or you can request it at one of our venues if you...
They sell it at the Adelaide Jail as well.
At the Adelaide
so
Jail.
it'll either be in a tour, online, or at one of the tours.
And
there.
also, we actually used to do the Adelaide, the Ayres House, Julie. We have actually investigated there.
We didn't get much there, and of course we want you lot to get the best out of the tours, so if we're not getting an awful lot, we got little bits, but if we don't get an awful lot, then we don't want to have you keep paying money and come along when the chances are very low. So we tend to stick to the venues that we've got a better chance of anything happening.
It was a beautiful place to do. Just,
Absolutely.
it was very difficult
and it was
to
an
do.
honour to do it as
It
well.
was. It was just very difficult because they got all the precious things there as well.
And they got
haven't
lots of
So-
antiques, and we didn't want to, get anything broken.
You know, Ayres House, we had something come out of the ghost box one night. and it
Sarah.
was German.
Sarah George. Sorry, Sarah was with me the other night. Sarah and Amber. It was an interesting night in the new building, so we seem to have a George come through who is very, very keen on chatting to Amber and Sarah.
Central Markets. Yes, we've heard about Central Markets, haven't we?
Yeah, we have. So,
That'll be,
Rosemary, yes, I will be working on that. I'm trying to back off from the tours and let these guys do the tours more, so I can get more creative. Okay, Mel, me too. All right, so that's pretty much it. All right, we've been on an hour, guys. In fact, we've been on...
Is it an hour?
It has been an
Oh my
hour.
God.
Yeah, and there is still people watching us. I can't believe that people are still watching us. So.
Oh, we can't leave without talking about
What's coming up? Let's finish with quick news and then we're going to sign off. So we'll answer more questions every 2 weeks we'll come on. All right, so what we've got coming up, how exciting. If you haven't heard the news, which I don't know where you've been asleep if you've been on our page, but we've got Ben Hansen from the show Fact or Fact and also from the new show that's airing on Foxtel at the moment, Ghosts of Morgan City. He's heading here next week. In fact,
to next week?
One,
it is, isn't it?
1 week today.
Oh, far out.
7 days today, he'll be here in Adelaide. So he's doing some investigations with you lot. 2 of them are sold out, but we've still got only 3 spots left for the Adelaide jail investigation. So jump online, don't miss out on that, you get to work with him. We're also doing a paranormal afternoon on the 24th of November at Zedward, where Ben Hansen will also be talking. Craig will be talking about...
Children and the occult.
You say that in such a...
Oh, it's going to be interesting.
Is it?
Yep.
Excellent.
It's all finished now, so...
Is it?
Oh, is it?
Yep.
Cool.
Oh, cool. We haven't heard it, by the way, so we'll be as amazed, no doubt. You never know what Craig's going to come up with. We'll be sitting there nervously, don't you worry, going, what's he going to say? I'll be talking and covering some new stuff from our trip. In fact, Licking Jail, if Terry's still watching, I think you're going to be taking part in my talk on the 24th of November.
You are there.
So you will be with us in spirit or on video, so we will be talking about licking.
Well, hopefully not in spirit.
No.
No. Type of spirit,
yeah. so yeah, there's still some spots left for the Sunday afternoon, and you can have a casual meet and greet with Ben, get some photos and ask him some questions as well. So
yeah. And tea, coffee, nibbles are included.
Yeah. Yes. So get online before it all sells out. We've already sold out on two of the stuff. So, all right. With that, we are going to sign off. Oh, have we got one more? Christmas.
Yes.
At Glen Bar. All right, we haven't put it up yet, but you guys get the first nod. We're going to have a Christmas at Glen Bar on the 22nd of November, December, I think it is. So it's a few days before Christmas. You get a traditional European Christmas.
European Christmas.
English, Scottish Christmas, you name it.
It's English.
Is it English? There you go.
Yeah.
So
Maybe
definitely
Australian
jump
one.
in on that one. So that'll get you in the mood for Christmas, traditional one.
What's a weeknight? What's on a weeknight, Shane? We haven't got anything. Oh, the jail is.
The jail,
Yes,
Shane, unfortunately
yeah.
that's because he can't obviously do every venue on the Friday, Saturday. So the jail is on the Thursday.
Yeah.
But hey, sleepers for the week, Shane.
Yeah.
All right, you've got the rest of your life to sleep. So
And then we've got the talk on the Sunday, so
Yeah.
that'll be a nice Sunday
it
afternoon.
will be.
Last time we had a talk there, it went down really,
It was
really well.
really
Everybody
good.
loved it.
Yeah,
So.
it was really good. We all enjoyed it. So, all right, we could be at this all night. It has been wonderful talking to you all. We've had a blast. So.
Yes, thank you guys, and thank you for the lovely comments as well. I really appreciate it.
We'll be back in a fortnight. We'll have a topic for you by then, but definitely give us some messages. You could even message here.
We'll be back in a fortnight.
Oh, no. We won't be in the fortnight. We'll be missing because we'll be in Tasmania with Ben, with Charmaine from
Tasmania's
Tasmania. I'm going to say Australia's most haunted. It's Tasmania's most haunted with our courts. So. But one after that, hey, we'll have a good recap on what we've had happen, maybe. Yeah.
Unless we can have one with
Yeah.
Ben.
Oh, there you go. We might even come on with Ben.
That's a good idea.
Actually, we will. We'll try
Yeah.
and come on with Ben. It won't
Yeah.
be the Tuesday though, but we will try and get him.
He wants to,
Before he-
he's going to come up here to see the
Yeah.
kangaroos.
He's got to come up here anyway. So
Eat
hey,
the kangaroos.
there you go. Ben Hansen. We'll try and get him on.
No,
So
silly kangaroos.
there you go. All right, we must go. We've got to go. Some of us haven't had tea yet. Some of us have to go home and.
Go to sleep.
Good night, God is lazy and Craig.
We will catch you next time. If not, at the
Is
talk.
the jail still on Friday the 29th? I have to have a look at the diary.
I
I'm
don't
sorry,
know,
I got
Abby.
off my head.
Off the top of the
Don't
head, it's
know.
every 4th day, but I'll tell you how to find out. Go to our booking page or any page on our website, hit the book now button, and it's going to bring up a calendar for you. So
Yes, she is. To be honest, she's
All right.
coming as
the
well.
tours will be running, even though Kagami will be in Tasmania with Ben. Tours will continue running. So
Who's doing them? God.
Hashtag
They love you, Craig. They want you. Your family.
And Peter.
And Peter. And Michael.
Yes.
And Michael. And,
Exactly.
and the rest of the
And the rest of the
crew.
HH crew, who are absolutely wonderful. So I'm going to just, because we're going to be at this all day, so, and Charmaine is wonderful. All right, bye. We've got to eat. We're going to have tea. Okay.
That's enough on that one.